So my guest today is Rick Rios, and Rick is part of Consejo Latino, and they put out a press release and basically were extremely disappointed, I guess would be the right, I don't know, maybe there's a stronger word, with the decision of Sean Sant. Rick, thanks for joining us. I appreciate your time here today.
Oh, it's a pleasure being here, Christine.
Basically, what was how did you interpret yesterday's decision? Did you expect it to happen this way?
Absolutely. Yeah, there was nobody in our group or anybody that we have spoken with since the shooting that felt that Sean Sant was going to do anything to these officers. And that's exactly why from the absolute beginning of this entire tragedy, we reached out to the Department of Justice, to the governor's office, to the AG's office, and said, we need an independent third party in here to try to make this decision, this hard decision, because Mr. Sant is in over his head. This is not something that he's going to be able to do for a variety of reasons.
So the bottom line is not so much that you disagree with his decision, but that you feel that the investigation should be viewed by an outside party? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, two things. One, we don't think the decision was correct.
Okay.
And two, yes, we felt that the only way to ensure that transparency did exist is to bring either a federal agency or an independent third party who has no ties to this community and is making a decision based solely on the evidence and the factors that were involved that day.
So you don't feel that the investigation that was conducted by a variety of different law enforcement folks from around this area, not any one department, but a collection of those people, did not do a fair and adequate job of collecting the investigation materials?
Well, it's difficult for us to tell if they did a fair and accurate job, because from the very beginning, the biggest complaint that you have anytime the police investigate the police is the police are investigating the police and they're telling the public, you just have to trust us.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, those were the exact words that Chief Metzger made the day of the shooting. You have to trust me, you have to trust my police, my department, and you have to trust the process. And then they didn't say a word after that.
Mm-hmm.
Every time a question was posed to either Mr. Sant or to Chief Metzger, their answer is, well, we can't talk about it, it's a continuing investigation. And so you're left to get bits and pieces, little drabs of information that they control. They control the narrative, they control the information, and they control when it's released. And so you have no idea if it's transparent. You can hold SIU meetings every week, but if they come in and don't tell you anything and refuse to answer questions, then what is the purpose? And this is what our complaint was from the very beginning. Mr. Sant and the Pasco Police Department are one and the same. He represents the police department every time there's a trial and policemen are called to testify. I would venture to say that there are times in a courtroom where he has turned to the jury and said, the police have absolutely no reason to lie, they're doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
So the police are always playing it as people who can do no wrong. And if you listen, and so many people did, to his explanation yesterday, he blamed it all on the state legislature, that his hands were tied. It was the state legislature who dictates when and how policemen can kill people, and that the state legislature gives police unbelievable discretion in the use of deadly force. And that the only thing that is required to make sure a policeman is not held liable is that he doesn't have evil intent.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, that's really difficult for the average person to say, well, how does Mr. Sant look into the hearts of these three men and say, none of them had evil intent. They all killed this man in good faith. That's difficult to swallow, and that's extremely difficult for the Hispanic community to accept.
Yeah.